A cute story about racism. Did you guys know this was actually based off the director's real life story of moving from Korea to the Bronx? This movie has a big personal touch to it. You can feel it. That alone, I'd say, is worth the watch. And it's beautiful. It's a nice, beautiful Disney Pixar movie. So you like that, and you like everything else I've said. Check it out. All right, review over for all of you that just left. For the rest of you, yeah, let's get into it. In Element City, that's where dreams are made of. Is that how the song goes? Element City. It basically feels like New York, but like a pretty elemental New York. Seems to be predominantly run by the water people and the air people. And then you kind of got the earth people in there too. Uh we can have fun with which race is which. You can kind of guess. Uh but it's interesting. The fire people, they're the ones that you don't see hardly any of them up in there. And if you do, they're just in like really one section of the town, kind of more rundown section of town. The imagery is very clear here. It's very beautiful too, surprisingly. It's funny how they make such concepts so cutesy and so lively. It's that alone, again, it's still interesting to watch this movie. I watched this with my family and we all loved it. It's a beautiful film. There's nothing I'd say wrong with it. The story is a bit, I don't know, it's Disney Pixar stuff. Basically, you have this fire family, a mother and a father. They immigrate from their home country to come here for a better life, only to find out that nobody really likes fire people over here. So the mother and father, they have to make something out of nothing. They find a rundown building, they make it into a shop where they sell all their goods and stuff like that. They live there too. The mother, she's some kind of like a love uh, psychic kind of a thing. They almost feel more like gypsies than they do have Korean ancestry. Let me know what you think about that. I'm curious. They eventually have a daughter. See this character up here. Her name's Ember. She basically is a she's a daughter that's just trying to live up to her parents' expectations. The father wants her to run the shop, when he's gonna retire and everything, and she's just focused on trying to be a good daughter. But she can't. She's got anger issues. She pretty much blows up whenever she gets really upset. And the thing is about running a shop, you got to deal with a lot of people. You know how people are, and the shenanigans they kind of come into. She can't really jive with the whole customer's always right kind of mentality. If that makes sense. Anyways, she ends up running into Wade here. He basically plays like a city inspector, and she f's up one way or another to basically end up almost shutting down her parents' shop or pending shutdown. That sequence alone is really good. Dude's like crying as he's writing up her citations. It kind of gives you an idea into Wade. Apparently, all the water people, they're just always super emotional and crying and all preppy looking. Again, you can kind of picture the race there if you want. But he's like writing up like a crap ton of citations. He's just bawling. Like, oh, I'm so sorry I have to do this. It's another good reason to watch this movie. Without ruining too much, they end up having to band together to help not get the shop shut down, amongst other things. I don't want to, guys. I might get into some spoilers in a little bit, but uh, it becomes a bit of a intermingling of elements, if you get my drift here. And that, again, another reason I watched this film, just talking with you guys about this, that's really beautiful here too. In the beginning, there's such a strong element of segregation, even amongst the fire people. Like, her father does not like water people. It's really funny. Like, he's super. It's not like it's just one sided. Just so you all are clear, it's not like the water people are just like poo pooing the fire people. The dad's doing the same thing to the water people. He's just kicking them out of his store and stuff. It's kind of bad all around. But overall, definitely, I think it's a good family watch. It's beautiful enough, and the concepts are light enough to where if you don't like such topics, you're not gonna be too taken aback by anything. But it's good. It's actually pretty good film, pretty imaginative. Though the story is a little bit thin at parts. I don't want to ruin that for some of you, so I'm gonna get into spoilers on that. For all of you who are curious, here we go. So weird thing here. His boss, she's like this cloud lady. Uh, there's a bunch of things that kind of happen in this movie, but there's a moment where Ember and Wade find out that there's a big break in like their, it's like a dam that holds all this water in, right? Uh, and a big break, huge break. These giant boats crossing all the time, and the boss is like basically like, go fix it, Wade, city inspector, not construction worker. And and Ember, just the daughter of a shop owner, these people have no idea how to fix this giant crack in a very integral part of the city, right? And the boss just like sends them off to do it, right, if she wants to save her shop or whatever. And I couldn't get over that. I was like, what? Like, aren't there people that do that? Why is it the city inspector? So what do they do? She's a fire person. She's actually able to mold certain things into glass. You know, she grabs sand and makes it to all kind of glass sculptures. So she basically makes this big glass band-aid over the thing, right? It's just it's just ridiculous. And then they tell the boss, and the boss is like, awesome. You know, just this glass, this band-aid over this giant crack in this wall holding back all this water, and all these masters just come by just rumbling and shaking it all the time. It's a bad idea, right? But they just go forward with it. It doesn't make any sense. My brain's still over that. The movie's kind of full of that stuff. It's like they just rely mostly on the looks and the charm, which it does work, but it's just I don't know. I don't know. You can guess what might happen later. You know what I mean? Here's another little bit of trivia for you guys. There's a park that these two go to later on in the movie. Basically, they kind of end up, hanging out a bit too much. If you get my drift. Apparently, that park is actually shaped in the shape of the periodic tables. You know, where all those different elements and whatnot. That's pretty cool. But anyways, let me know what you think of this movie. I'm curious to talk about it too. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, talk to you guys later.